Hello. Welcome to this afternoon taste chat. We have two Irish blended whiskeys. This one is called Two Gingers. And you can see maybe the two redheaded drawing of the two redheaded ladies. There's the brown label with the Irish flag. Introduced in 2011, double distilled instead of the usual triple distillation. So two distillations, two gingers, kind of going with a theme. Aged 4 years, and it is produced in Ireland, the Irish Republic, the part of Ireland, the main part has their own president, by the Kilbeggan Distillery. And I have another Irish whiskey with the same cap design, and it's called Duhan's. But I think Duhan's is out of production, so I would assume it's from Kilbeggan, also Duhan's. But anyway, it's been pretty good. It's $15.99 at Total Wine. Other stores probably around the same price, and it's been doing pretty well in competition. There's a slight little peat note to it that's been tipping me off. Okay, helping me. I only got it wrong twice. Okay, now here's the competitor, introduced in 2017. From 2017, this is Bushmills Red Bush. Now it says 1608. Well, yes, there was a license issued to somebody to distill whiskey in that part of Ireland, Northern Ireland, County Antrim, in 1608. But the Bushmills brand did not hit the market till 1786. And if you look at older advertisements from like the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, it says 1786, not 1608. It says age a minimum of 3 years, but the website says it's age 4 years. Well, 4 years would be a minimum of 3. It's 3 plus a year. Okay, Proximo Spirits. They also own Jose Cuervo, the world's most popular tequila. All right, so mature to perfection in bourbon cask. So the thing that makes Red Bush stand out, it's aged in first fill bourbon cask, meaning they take bourbon cask, and the first time they're ever filled with anything besides bourbon is with this stuff, okay? And it's triple distilled instead of double distilled. And they give tours at this distillery and all of that in Northern Ireland. So that's the British controlled part of Ireland. Cheers, Louisiana Liquor Reviews, says Tommy Carroll. Cheers to you. Okay, thank you for watching, and here we go. I just cleaned these glasses today with very hot water and soap. One thing you'll notice is that Two Gingers is very pale. There's a little green, like a little green aspect to it, like greenish yellow, but it's mostly yellow, but it's like 5% green and 95% yellow. Gold. It's just kind of weird. But that's Two Gingers. It's produced by Kilbeggan. Now, the trademark information said they owned the trademark. So they don't just produce under the contract, they actually own it. I guess the guy started it. Somebody said he sold it to them, but I'm not sure if he sold it to them or if they always produced it and had control of it and he just was the founder. That's how that works sometimes. But it doesn't really matter. It's not really germane to what we're talking about. Gold. Bushmills Red Bush Gold. So both of the, Bushmills has passed around through ownership over the years. That's very common in the liquor world, the wine world, the beer world, food, products. I was reading about Mrs. Butterworth's yesterday. It was started by a company called Mrs. Butterworth's. And it got popular, and when somebody came along with the big money, they sold out. And it's owned by ConAgra today, Consolidated Agriculture today, who owns many brands like Banquet, frozen meals, and all that. Okay, so Some people take issue with that, like they sold out, they're sellouts. Yeah, well, they got a great offer. I'm not saying people should or should not sell out. I'm saying whatever they want to do is up to them. It's their business. A lot of these companies are started by people that are not really that young. And when they get older, they get tired, and they know they're not going to live forever. No one does. And they say, their family doesn't want it. And it's like, why don't you take over? No, like this Chinese restaurant everybody used to love in Kenner, Louisiana. Fong's. Well, she wanted her nephew to take over, trained him to cook. Oh, he doesn't want it. Her children, they've all moved to California. They don't want it. So she's like 85 years old, and she said, I'm just like 4 years ago, I'm shutting down. I mean, I can't run this thing. So people say, oh, I can't believe it. I said, well, either somebody was going to buy it or she was going to shut it down. And so that happened with, look at Kentucky Fried Chicken. The guy started it when he was like 47. That was in the 1930s. Let's see, 1937. Yeah, he was born in 1890. So he was 47 years old when he started. Harlan Sanders started Kentucky Fried Chicken, 1937. He had it 1947, 57, 67. And then he was, really old. And I don't think anybody in his family wanted it. I don't think he had any children. So he sold it to Pepsi. And people could say he's a sellout. Well, okay, so he sold out. He lived to be 90. He got money from it. He got a cut of it. And he lived in Canada like the last 10 years of his life, I think. Whatever reason, or longer than that. He liked Canada. I don't know anything about Harlan Sanders, except he was an honorary colonel, in like the Kentucky State Militia. They give those titles out in Louisiana too. My grandfather was a sergeant at arms of the state legislature. I mean, technically, he could go to the legislature and, tell people it's time to vote, but I mean, it was just a title. I knew this guy, kind of knew him, like from his radio show, and talked to him on the radio, and I kind of met him once. And Robert, I don't know if Robert's still alive, but he was saying he took that literally. They gave him a sergeant at arms certificate. He's going to show up at the legislature with a gun strapped to his leg. Louisiana liquor reviews sound like some of the rock stars selling their music away. It's the same thing. I mean, a lot of these people are wealthy, but a lot of them, when they're younger, they don't really handle their money that well, and they get scammed by these managers. Like, there's a long history of like organized crime being involved in the music business, and they don't get any money. They make a lot, and so they gotta have income streams. And a lot of them are not really adept at managing money, and they just, when they're 23 and they're popular, or 22, they be spending all the money, and they don't really have a whole lot of liquid assets, so to speak. Okay, but anyway, so they sell the music. All right. Like John Lennon with the Beatles, so we didn't know where all the money was. We all, biggest band in the world, we got no money. Okay. This smells like bourbon barrels. Meaning, the charred oak, vanilla, wood. It's not a bad smell. Just Kentucky Fried Chicken keeps 12 ingredients more secure than our president keeps his documents. Yes. Very hard to get those ingredients, and they're sealed. Some vault. Then you got companies like Schlitz that lost their original recipe. How you lose your original recipe? Well, I mean, literally, they probably kept it in a shoebox, and they said, "Where's that shoebox?" So mismanaged. The second biggest beer company in the United States in 1976, 47 years ago, they don't have the original recipe. But, I don't know. This smells like honey top white bread, but I'm trying to see if I'm picking up a little bit of that, because the clue for me is that a little bit of peat. I'm not getting that so far. Smell like Bushmill. Yeah, there might be a little. That's what it's called, of peat. All right, let's go with the taste. Cheers. After this is over, which I think this is the last one, I can't recall any other Irish whiskeys that I have that I haven't taste challenged this against. But sometimes I overlook something and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have to backtrack. Hopefully I don't, because I got single malt Scotch coming up, Glenglassaugh. Not real well known, but it's around. I saw some video reviews for it, still watching them. And it's like this. Bushmills is aged in ex-Tennessee whiskey barrels. So they all got these little gimmicks, you know. I'm not against gimmicks. And then people say, oh, it's a gimmick. Doesn't make it bad. Do you really need to take Irish whiskey and age it in ex-bourbon barrels? Specifically those? No, but then you can make a separate brand and sell it, Bushmills Red Bush, and people can say either they love it or they kind of like it or they hate it. I hadn't heard too many people said they hate it. Saw a few said they weren't in love with it. Yeah, it's like vanilla, honey top white bread, baked bread, not raw. You know, not the dough. It's a little bite to it, like a little. I got a great deal on this Bushmills now. Don't think that you're going to go find it for $9.99 a bottle, but we got this at Savannah discount for $9.99 a bottle. And my friend David was telling me, I'm going back. Well, he lives closer. He lives close to the Huey P. Long Bridge. So he was like, I'm going back. I said, you driving all the way back over there? Yeah, for $9.99. He said, you want another bottle? I said, no. One is enough, but it's been a great treat. And I'm only 55% through. But it's really like about $26 a bottle. So don't expect to get it for $9.99. Now, you might find it 3 gingers for $15.99, because I checked 2 days ago, it was still that price. These things fluctuate. See, some loud bird outside. Blue ice, says Red Bush for the obvious win. Well, not so fast. Not so fast. There is a little scintilla of peat, but no, it is not a peaty product by any means, but it's a peaty product by a little bit of means. You know, just a little hint of it. Somebody posted something in Rock and Roll Club the other day, and I said, that sounds like a Bob Dylan song. Now, not the whole song, but just a little part of it. And he was like, oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah, because I'm listening to this English group, and it's like, and that's the story of the hurricane. And I was like, what? What did I hear? It wasn't exactly that, but it was kind of like that, you know. It was like that stereotypical way of doing it. Well, I guess you're right, Blue Ice. I guess Red Bush is the clear and present winner. My favorite of the 3 that I've tried so far, now they have like 20 different ones, but my favorite Bushmill so far, and it's named after some mills, you know, where they grind the grain, they grind the grain, they mill the grain, and it's next to the Bush River. I don't know if that's the George H.W. Bush River or the George W. Bush River, but this is the Bush River. I think it's the Kate Bush River. Yes, in Northern Ireland. The Bush River. Smooth. So delicate in the flavor, and that nice vanilla bourbon barrel. Oh, I was in love with this the first day I tried it. I think I'm in love, and I can't get enough. I like it. Let's check the price while we're at it. It won't take but a moment. You know me, I do things quickly in a long-winded fashion. Bushmills Red Bush. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So, I nailed it. And I was again, I'm serious. I didn't look that up before. $23.99. I said 24. I was just guessing. $23.99. Well, there you go. Tra la la. Matured in bourbon cask, this aged blended whiskey, which makes sense since in Ireland they all have to be aged at least 3 years. There's no unaged Irish whiskey unless there's like unless they allow like the United States spirit specialty a distilled specialty spirit. Is made at the oldest working distillery in Ireland over 400 years. Blah blah blah. Okay, they don't say much about it. Okay, so it's a winner. A winner. Oh, such a winner. And I got it right. You're right, Blue Ice. You're right. Oh, man. He had it correct. Now, tra-la-la-la-la. That's a beauty. But you can't touch the merchandise. It's really good. I really like it. And I'm unanimous in that. I'll speak for myself. Makes sense. You know, I'm not an actor, but I play one on TV. I can't help that, y'all. That's a gift. But anyway, in all seriousness, let's give a last chance taste to the good old two gingers, Ginger Rogers and Ginger Baker. And Ginger Snaps. Stop it, you. It's nice. It's pleasant. I have no complaints. I really don't. If I wanted to find fault with it, I'd just be digging and looking and, you know, like nitpicking, being persnickety. So is it a great deal for $15.99? It is. But in my case, I can get Drum Castle for $14.99. I can save $1, and it's arguably just as good, maybe better. I don't know about better, but definitely just as good. I can't get either one in my town. Which is based on Dr. Pepper. My whole town is all about Dr. Pepper. Everything. It's weird. Sheriff's involved in it. It's a strange thing. But and there's a big dome above the town. A big dome, and there's a lake. I tried to get away one time, but there was a storm came up, and it's a strange thing. And this bicycle just keeps coming around I don't understand it. I feel like I'm in a script. I'm in a play. I'm part of a movie. It's like the Ronald Show. Don't know. But yeah, so in my case, I can't get Drum Castle in my town, and I can't get two gingers in my town, but I do go to Metairie quite often, and I go to Hammond quite often. And this is a theoretical thing because I don't really plan on buying either one ever again, due to the fact that I plan on buying every other Irish whiskey in production on the planet going forward. Ha ha ha. So, but I would just go ahead and get the Drone Castle. But the Bushmills Red Bush, is it worth $23.99? I guess. Yeah. Is it really $8 better? $8. $8. You could, I think, can you still buy a Big Mac by itself for $8? Scary, right? All right. I got that $2 beef burrito, the grilled beef burrito at Taco Bell yesterday. It was good. It filled me up. Made me gain weight. $2. I guess that's a lost leader. They probably lose money on it, but they use it as a lead in. They draw you in on that, and then you say, well, but I'll just go ahead and get the nachos Bel Grande and this and that and the other thing. But I just stuck to the script and I bought it, and it was good. And I think they overloaded it. I don't think they really made it according to specs, because I got that thing and I opened it up. I said, man, this thing seems oddly big for $2. Wasn't complaining, but I don't know. It was pretty hefty. But yeah, so $8. I don't know. That's up to your discretion. I would say I'm not sure. I'm going to pass on that. Use your discretion, because I can't definitively say it's better. The Bushmills Red Bush is better, and I'm not going to argue against that. But to say it's $8 better, oh man! If you go to Total Wine and you got this Envie for Irish whiskey, and you don't want to spend a whole lot. I mean, you could get the two gingers, and you're not going to suffer, and you could get the Kavanaugh, and that's nice. Now they got some higher grade Kavanaugh, but then they're going to be above the price of the Red Bush, so that wouldn't really enter into the argument. So yeah, I don't know. It's up to you. Buy what you want, but I'm just saying I'm not sure about the $8. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm trying to get to. So, but I do prefer the Red Bush, and I love the Red Bush since the day I tried it. I just was in love with it, and it's just fabulous. And I don't want to say I'm in love with two gingers, but I'm infatuation with it. Now, what's the next Irish whiskey I got coming up? Well, I'll tell you, I know what it is. It's called the Busker. Don't know a thing about it, except it's in a square bottle. It's an unusual looking bottle. The Busker. It's like $34 a bottle. And when I tell you the price I paid, you'll think I'm lying, but it's the truth. And it's triple distilled. It's got a green label. So that'll be later this year, if not to next year. I got so much backstock, you won't believe it. James says, hey, yeah, it's good stuff. I pour the higher grade and all right. So anyway, getting back to planet Earth. Two gingers did very well in this taste challenge. Didn't exactly set the world on fire, but it didn't do too bad. It did better than I expected, because at the price point, I thought, oh, this is going to be lousy, but certainly wasn't. And Red Bush always does well. That never fails. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Could show you something I got on a road trip today, a short road trip. If anybody wants to see what I got coming up, like a flower, I'll show you. But if not, I'll just get off this, go on with the day. So I did get something pretty interesting and well known. Nobody's going to say, never heard of that. So I'll show it to you going once. Show it to you going twice. And gone. Never mind, but you'll see it down the road. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.